Let's take a look at some ridiculous video game prices, look at the history of the item, and try to figure out how or why prices for it have increased. On today's episode,
welcome to the King of Iron Fist Tag Tournament 2.
The Wii U has finally hit the nostalgia mark. I seem to recall people hating this console for some reason. I loved it though. You can still find a good amount of games under $60, but then there are the few anomalies. Devil's Third, which that's a whole other issue. But Tekken Tag Tournament 2, really? Tekken has always been the best 3D fighting game, other than Virtua Fighter, and when the second tag game came out, did people even know this game was released for the Wii U? Now, the original cost was probably $50, a typical new release price, but I vividly remember always seeing it for $20 used for years after that initial release, even the eShop digital version permanently being $20 at one point. So how did we come to this? The 360 and PS3 ones were far more popular and sold more copies, so it makes sense that you can still find those for under $20 these days. Poor selling game on a poor selling console sounds like a recipe for stupid rare prices. Before all of that though, let's take a look at this version specifically. Other than the odd gamepad control scheme you can use for the Wii U version, Pro controllers work as well. This one also had exclusive content. That mushroom mode is a wacky game type, complete with dubstep Mario music. And there's a volleyball minigame, kind of like Tekken 3, but it ain't Tekken Bowl. That's the greatest minigame ever. There are also Nintendo-themed costumes to customize characters with. So it is a different experience with plenty of exclusive content. Could that contribute to the absurd pricing? Maybe. Well, first we have to play the price history game, so let's check out GameStop, price charting, and eBay. GameStop is a decent option for buying used retro games, and I guess we are considering the Wii U retro now, which is kind of scary. If you want further proof that this game was always cheap for years, in fact the cheapest of the 3 versions of the game, check out GameStop's listed price for it, $10 used. Now that was before it was sold out. You know, cheap prices like this for games that are now expensive, well, they never come back in stock at GameStop, so don't expect to ever see this pop up here again. Now let's check eBay. For some reason you can't check history prices longer than just a couple of months, which sucks. Okay, here are some current listings, the asking prices. Okay, a bit of a difference here and there. All of them used though look about $70 and higher. This jerk is trying to sell just the disc for this much. Please don't indulge this guy. Don't make these prices even more ridiculous. So it looks like we could go back to January. It was hovering around the $35 to $45 range. February, more of the same. Wow, this guy made out with Tekken Tag 2 and Shovel Knight for $60. And then suddenly on March 11th, March 12th, it shot up to $60 used. Someone managed to sell it for $110 used on March 20th. And since then, it hasn't sold less than $70 for used complete in the box. So it seems like something happened on maybe March 11th. Anyway, let's check price charting. Price charting has a pretty extensive history for any game or accessory, but for this one we can go back pretty far, $14. It gets ridiculous. Well, that's the name of the show after all. So now that we have a pretty good history of Tekken Tag 2 on Wii U's price, we have to try to figure out why. Why did the price jump so much in just a couple of days, and very recently too? We can chalk up a lot of ridiculous prices to the pandemic, since that's when a lot of people started randomly collecting physical copies of older games, but this is way too recent, so I often think it has to do with some popular YouTuber who talked about it, or made a meme about it, or maybe some exploit for hacking and homebrewing. That happens with some games. With the Wii U, there was recent news that the online servers will eventually shut down. Tekken Tag Tournament 2 is an online game, so maybe people want to start playing that online now before it's gone forever. For some reason, the game has been taken off the Wii U eShop, and I'm not sure for how long now. What about the specific March day increase? Maybe something trended with Tekken Tag 2 Wii U in 2022? Nothing on YouTube indicates any recent rise in interest. Nothing on Reddit. Some people may suspect that Kazuya being added to Smash Bros. Could be a reason, but that was on a totally different console and quite a while ago at this point. I don't see a connection there. Another possibility, especially with fighting games, they have a very dedicated fan base, so I thought maybe this version of the game was recently added to like fight tournaments or something. But no, that's not the situation either. But I seriously think it was a combination of Tekken Tag 2 on the Wii U just being very uncommon, and one person looking at their copy, sitting on the game shelf collecting dust, thinking,
well, The Misadventures of Tron Bonne is selling nearly $1,000. Let me try with another obscure option of my own.
So yeah, one person started the trend, one buyer took the bait, and now all copies won't settle for anything less than $70. But if anyone has any other reason, I'd love to know.